Brought to you by the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. So we threw a little swerve into our last class. We're now up to lesson 6 in the AracKnight Returns, chapter 2. We were setting up a brawl on the bridge. We started brawling in class 4, and we just threw a little curveball because originally I didn't know what the fuck I was going to do once the brawl was over. And that was kind of the fun sometimes of the stream of consciousness writing style that we use in this particular class. Is that sometimes we pin ourselves into a plot hole, we paint ourselves into a corner, and that challenges us to find a creative way out. Avoiding clones. An alternate reality. Motherfuckers. I hate that shit. Oh, that wasn't the real Iron Man who died. That was an alternate reality Iron Man that we brought in 40 issues ago and didn't tell you about. Go fuck yourself. Anyway, let's recap the last pages from the last class. Page 9, we cut to Mayor Jameson frantically watching from his office on a big screen monitor. He's watching the fight on the bridge, remember. What are you waiting for? Alice. I'd fuck off. What are you waiting for? You guys taking bets on the winner? Shoot at them! Take them all out! But, Your Honor, Spider-Man is down there. What about the Sky Bridge? What's your name, Pilot? Pontius, Mr. Mayor. Well, Pontius Pilot, have you ever heard the expression, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few? I have, sir. Well, Spider-Man's sacrifice will have eliminated the extreme terrorist threat to our empire. We will name the next bridge after him. Now open fire! We see all the copters converge towards the base of the Sky Bridge where the battle royale is going down. Streaming copters fall back. You heard the boss. Converge all weapons. Destroy the bridge. What now? Spider-Man is punching out Catman as his senses go haywire. Haywire. Spider-Man barely has time to shoot a massive web vine up towards the top part of the bridge, but the missiles all converge and blow apart seemingly every part of the Sky Bridge. Missiles, destroying the bridge with multiple explosions. Only 2 people can pull this off, and I know one of them isn't the Commissioner, and by the time I find out, I'll be too dead to care. As the Sky Bridge has now been blown to bits, we see combatants all about to plummet down towards the wastelands below. We see Spider-Man has successfully hit one of the copters with a web vine, as the copter attempts to save him as he rises above a large fog of falling Sky Bridge debris. Sir, Spider-Man is airborne. I can save him, sir. What? Yeah, sure. Do your best to bring him back safe. But before any rescue can be attempted, we see a large amount of hands all grab at Spider-Man at once, like the talons of demons and villains dragging him into hell as he disappears into the cloudy debris. If we can get him clear of the rubble, we could... It's getting too heavy. Spider-Man is being... We see Spider-Man completely disappear into the plummeting cloud of debris and destruction. We cut to Mayor Jameson covered in flop sweat, spilled coffee, and cigar ash as he listens over the radio. He's gone, sir. Gone? You mean it? Yes, sir. All of them. Gone. Relieved and proud, Mayor Jameson is about to kick back in his chair and take a long puff, but his bliss is interrupted as Commissioner Stacy barges into the room. You got some nerve, Jameson. That's Mr. Mayor, Commissioner. You want to stand on ceremony with me, or do you plan to commandeer the rest of my men while you send me on a wild goose chase? Or do you plan to commandeer the rest of my men while you send me on a wild goose chase? I'm in charge of this empire, George, and sometimes that means making tough decisions. Spontaneous decisions that will affect every citizen. And when your champion shines a light to the sky and then brings along our long-dead mayor, flying blind on a rocket cycle, I sent in my gang of patsies. And then, yes, I commandeered your police force, and in that moment, I saved the city. I like this. We got some bureaucratic bullshit going on here, which is fun because Jameson is the mayor, going fucking face to face with Commissioner Stacy. Commissioner Stacy sits down in front of the mayor and takes the cigar while Jameson lights a match. But you destroyed the Sky Bridge. Bridges can be rebuilt, and it was all part of the plan. What plan? You first, Commissioner. Did my wild goose chase pan out? It did. I have your scientists. We collected them from the toy district, just as Marco and Toombs left for the battle royale. And where are these saints being kept? They're safe. My loyal flank. But I'll tell Castle and the Wolf to shoot all 3 of them right now if you consistently persist to keep me in the dark. I understand your loyalty to the city, but first things first. Why did Spider-Man have to die? I didn't kill him, George. I merely traded his life, well, in essence, all of their lives, for my son. Traded to who? What happened to your son? We go back a long way, George, so I won't insult you. See, Jameson puts a button in the wall that reveals a secret hidden door. Now, usually I like 6 panels to a page. Unless you're doing a lot of conversation, you could do multiple panels. You can go more than 6. You go up to fucking 9 if it's all just heads and conversation. And then, of course, you make those the smaller panels, and you make this last one big when we show John Jameson in the back to tank. We like our Star Wars back to tanks here. We see Jameson push a button in the wall that reveals a secret hidden door. My son recently returned from a secret mission to the moon base. I don't know about the moon base. Not even a secret mission, from a mission to the moon base. My son recently returned from a mission to the moon base. He came back with a container of rare spores and gems. Or gems and spores. He came back with a container of rare gems and spores. Going into the room, we see Colonel John Jameson, much like Peter and the lizard were in Norman's lab, floating unconscious in a back-to-tank. This one looking more clean and high-tech, but still a dreary mirror image of the back-to-tanks that previously held Peter, Dr. O, and the lizard. Unfortunately, he also came back in a coma. So again, we're writing our little mini dramas 2 pages at a time, 2 pages at a time. So now, today's class, we go to the halfway mark, pages 11 and 12. Now again, we are leaving off. Jameson is showing Commissioner Stacy his son that's also fucked up. We got all sorts of fucked up super metahumans in training and in evolution in our AracKnight Returns story. Can we go darker? We just blew up the sky bridge with all the villains on it, including our 4 main villains here, our 4 main characters, Spider-Man, Green Goblin, Sandman, and the Vulture. So let's do some mining, and let's figure out where the fuck we're taking this story. Because again, sometimes part of the fun is not knowing where you're going and using the history of Spider-Man to get us there with our own manipulation. But first things first, I need water. So peruse this. Take a look at some cool art. Actually, what we'll do is let's show a movie. Let's show the video from our last, here we go, while I get my water.
Mayor Jameson literally blew up Spider-Man to save his own kid. He ordered police choppers to blast the skybridge to pieces while Spidey was fighting a massive villain turf war. Spider-Man tried webbing a chopper to escape, but the villains dragged him down into the falling rubble. The city thought the mayor made a ruthless call to wipe out terrorists. Even Commissioner Stacy barged in, ready to riot over the dead hero. But Jameson was hiding a dark secret behind his office wall. He traded Spider-Man's life for his son, who just returned from a secret moon mission in a coma and is now floating in a hidden sci-fi tank.
Nice. Get out of here with the fucking... Go away. All right. Let's get all right and done. Here we go. Where's our script? All right. Pages 11 and 12. Get out of here. Amazing Spider-Man 151. Peter disposes of Spider-Man's clone, convinced that he is the true Spider-Man. At an engagement party for Ned Leeds and Betty Brant, Peter discovers the return of the Shocker. And this time, the villain has left a calling card that all of New York City can't miss. We take you to December 1975. A glorious time. I believe Nixon was president, or was it Gerald Ford? Gerald Ford was president. Skirmish beneath the streets. Now, when we left Spider-Man, remember, the Sky Bridge was just destroyed. All these fucking dudes are plummeting down out of the city. Remember, Empire City was raised up through the technology and the workings of the Sinister Six. They abandoned America, so to speak. They left America in the midst of a huge civil war. We see the crazy political climate in our country currently, the left versus the right, the Democrats, Republicans, all that crap. So I kind of played off of it, and the idea is that we're a little bit into the future. America was ravaged by a civil war, and New York became a separate city-state, much like New York City was going to do in the first Civil War, of course, when New York was, there was a whole group of Democratic politicians called Copperheads who are going to basically secede New York from both the Union and the Confederacy and operate as their own city-state. We did it here in our story. I did it in the Faro story. It's kind of one of my favorite things. So it's kind of full circle. The idea of a city, you no longer have stupid politicians in your story centers and Congress and you just keep throwing around. You just get one fucking guy in charge of the city, the king, if you will, the guy who runs the show. And at first it was Norman Osborn with his technological aspirations. He literally wants to turn the fucking city into a space station. We might reveal maybe he's kind of driven by a cult. But we don't know. We'll get back to him. Right now he's still alive. We don't know if he's alive. We know all those thugs are dead. Fuck all those guys. Maybe we bring them back later on. Maybe their bodies are collected in the wasteland. We don't have to write them all off, but we definitely have to kill a few of them. We definitely have to fucking kill Paste Pot Pete. But however, Sandman, of course, is alive. He can't die. He's sand. Vulture eventually would have flown away. Unless he was taken out by debris. And of course, Norman. Norman was on his glider when everything blew up. But again, I don't want it to be like they got away. This was a huge explosion. Even if they could fly away, they still got smashed by debris or something. Point is, we wanted it so that they all fucking plummeted to the wastelands below. The country that has been ravaged by civil war below is now kind of referred to as the wastelands. We saw Peter was in the wastelands with Mary Jane, so some people go there as kind of like when they want to be dangerous. He took her there, of course, to be dangerous, to impress her. So that is where we're leaving off here. So do we go to our next page and Spider-Man? We left off with Jameson and Commissioner Stacy showing him the body of his son. So we can nicely transition here to Spider-Man unconscious. He can be having a fucking dream. We can have Agent Clemmer the one that finds him. He can literally be teaming up with S.H.I.E.L.D. here. We can be bringing him into a bigger mission. We don't have to immediately take him back to Empire City. Things are sent here to die, to be purified by fire and reduced to vagrant ash, or to be piled into barges and unceremoniously dumped beyond the 12-mile limit. The New York City Department of Sanitation calls this place an incinerating plant. The local residents call it an eyesore, but the web-slinging Spider-Man may as well call it a godsend. All right. The incinerator. Now, Spider-Man is coming over here. He just finished his fight with the Jackal. The Jackal is dead. Gwen Stacy has left him at the cemetery after putting roses on her clone's grave. And left Peter. When we left off, Peter was going into the room with Mary Jane, banging her. Good job, Peter. He's even saying it all. You've been attacked by a creep-filled collection of your most deadly foes. You've been betrayed by a man you once admired and trusted. You've lost Gwen Stacy, the first girl you ever truly loved, for a second time. And to top it all off, you found yourself faced with this. Gotta hand it to you, old Professor Warren, a.k.a. the Jackal, as if one Peter Parker didn't have more than enough trouble. You had to go to give the world two. Still, it gives me the chills just looking at him. I didn't know he was only a clone. Spider sense tingling. Nobody's there, but we know someone took a picture of him. Basically, he's at the dump. I grew up in Staten Island. We had a big Staten Island dump. So he's going into there, and he's going to be dropping the clone Peter Parker into the incinerator, disposing of the clone, or so we think. When 250 fucking issues later, this motherfucker shows up again and makes havoc through the sales figures of Marvel Comics. All right. Get back, of course, to ESU Empire City. Something wrong this morning, Tiger? Or is that a stupid question? Peter's chilling with Mary Jane. They're hanging out. Professor Warren is now dead. Here comes Flash coming over to say, yo, yo, yo. They're all going to class. They don't appreciate these hallowed halls of higher learning. Stop the press. Could it be Flash Thompson, who used to call me the last of the big bookworms? All right, so Flash is trying to get his degree. Pretty soon, Flash is going to be banging Betty Brant. And it looks like Harry's back in town. He's been a little bit taken out from all his drugs and addictions. He even attacked Peter, tried to kill him as the Green Goblin too. See, right here. Harry seems pretty normal. Maybe he is cured, which means the Green Goblin is finally gone for good, taking the secret of my double identity with him. All right, so everybody, they're having a party. Jay Jonas is having a party for Ned Leeds and Betty Brant. We get to the engagement party. Eat, drink, and be merry tonight, everybody. All right, so they have an engagement party at Jameson's loft. Everyone's having a good time. He's locking up the liquor cabinet. Peter and fucking Mary Jane arrive. This is when people really start to enjoy Spider-Man because the alter ego is more interesting. He's got an interesting supporting cast. What makes a marvelous James Cagney impersonation? I know you had acting ability. Tell me, the rumors are true. You're replacing Robert Redford. She's buttering Jameson up. Flash is wearing all the disco fucking clothes. Well, I turn around in front of some nice Montavani. You don't want to listen to those classics. Give me that. And now, bulletins back to the make-believe ballroom. Harry's just kind of all stone-faced. He's probably on some good drugs. He's not drinking no more. What do we got here? Ned and Peter. Betty Brands and Ned Leeds, two of my favorite people tying the knot at last. I can't get over it. Isolated power blackouts across Manhattan continue. Just moments ago, 47th Street between Lexington and 3rd Avenues joined the others. So again, we're in chapter 2 of what we're trying. Our goal is a 5-volume sequel. We did the AracKnight, which was 4 chapters, 24 pages each, a 100-page story. And now we're going for 120. We're going for the full 2 hours. That is the goal. So the idea is right now, maybe we have a mission out here in the wasteland. I didn't know I was going to literally bomb that fucking bridge until I said to myself, I didn't know what I was going to do after the fight scene. The entire plan for like pages 9 and 10 was they were going to fucking brawl. And maybe kill all of them. And I'm like, well, where does that go? What did it prove? It was just filler then. I don't like filler. I need that story to weave. And that is the fun part. So now we're trying to figure out what happens in the wasteland. Does he wander around by himself? Is Nick Fury right there to fucking catch him? Please tell me your Professor Warren died saving my life, and I don't even know why or how. Suppose he's somehow responsible for the jackal, but we'll never know for sure. The professor is dead, and the jackal's disappeared. He's turning up the air conditioning. She sit down. That's an Indonesian incense burner. Well, I never. Thanks, Robertson. Harry, good to see you again. I knew they'd keep you down for long. If you need any help in the next few weeks, don't hesitate to call. Blackouts all over. Hey, Ixnay on the more ooze bay. Con Edison spokesman deny any knowledge of the blackout's origins. All right, so now Spider-Man's getting his tingling. He's saying some shit's going down. They haven't touched the goddamn tuna salad. Try some tuna salad. So Jameson's just being cheap, which is kind of cute. He doesn't want anybody drinking his shit. He's getting some Dr. Pepper. Blackouts at due. So Peter Josephson has a little unrehearsed announcement to make. You know, Betty Brant and Ned Leeds have faithfully served the Daily Bugle for many years. So in honor of their marriage, I'm transferring them both to our Paris branch to allow them some sort of a working honeymoon. Yes, folks, never let it said, oh, it's kind of nice. He's sending them to Paris for a while. We're writing Ned Leeds and Betty Brant out of the story. If this was a TV show, the actors were asking for too much money and are being written out to teach them a lesson. So Peter notices a massive power failure across the city. Police copters, then we've done all this. There's a blackout going down. Everybody's looking around on Jameson's fucking terrace. Peter says, let me just jump out of here real quick, do some Spider-Man shit, not tell anybody where I'm going. Hitch a ride on the fucking helicopter. And now it starts raining. He looks and he says, better cut the hearts and flowers, but I'm going to make it worth losing half my already meager wardrobe. Which means I better start trying to figure out just who's behind this. And, yep, I see it all right, but I flat out refuse to believe it. I mean, we have heard the people wanting their name all up in lights now, but this is downright ridiculous. The shocker. Well, that answers the who part of the problem. Now is the why. The old days, Shocker wasn't much of a safecracker, a bump bank rob with a little car robbery tossed in for good measure. So what does he figure to gain by blacking out half the city? Well, since my psych teacher says it's impossible to divine the workings of the criminal mind, the only way to cut the power to specific areas is the way to go. Cables running through the streets. All right, so it's not really a good issue. This is kind of boring. Spider-Man's going through the fucking sewers. He's trying to figure out where the blackouts are from. We spent a lot of time at the party. They were just kind of showing off some humor, and Peter and his friends getting all fucking dressed up to get together. And there we have Peter tracing him down to the sewers. We got the Shocker fucking doing some shit here. Peter's gonna fight the Shocker, put his ass in the fucking sewer water. Shocker's wearing a fucking asbestos mattress fucking suit to insulate himself, shoot Spider-Man full of fucking electricity, which we got with Electro already. So we might be able to use this. Maybe we bring Electro into the storyline, maybe not. Maybe we save him. Peter and the fucking Shocker keep fighting. He's got to crawl up. They got fucking sewage and rats and all sorts of crazy shit. Now they're climbing up from the manhole. He shocks him down, shoots the debris. We've done the debris thing. Good grief, the sewer is filling up with rainwater. And I'm headed up to my neck. And on that ominous note, we take leave of our waterlogged wall crawler till next time. This was a shitty issue. I did not like this. Great fucking cover. It's a very famous Spider-Man cover with the sewage and all that shit coming over him. But I gotta tell you, that story kind of ate my ass. They spent a lot of time at the engagement party. I didn't get much out of that, other than that really cool shot of Spider-Man waking up on some rubble. But do we want to come into this with another dream sequence? Or is he actually being woken up by Nick Fury? I mean, does he wake up on a lily on a fucking bunch of rocks? He should wake up at least next to one or two dead bodies. Hmm. But who? Is it Catman? Not Catman. It's gotta be Paste Pot Pete. Yeah. Spider-Man, we're gonna cut to Spider-Man waking up next to Paste Pot Pete. But again, we did the dream sequence last issue. He was hallucinating that he was teaming up with Captain America and Nick Fury was hiring him. We could have him walking through the desert a little bit. You know, the ruins of DC, if anything. I'm trying to think here. Where would if he plummets out of New York? Now remember, New York is kind of hovering over America a little bit. So there could be some ruins. There could be scavengers. He could be waking up to them like stripping Paste Pot Pete's fucking gun and fucking uniform. He could be waking up to scavengers. We cut to him going through the desert. There could be Agent Clemmer beside him. So I haven't really got a starting point for these 2 pages yet. So let's do some more mining because that issue didn't help. And again, we don't just have to lock ourselves into two. We just keep moving. So now, if again we were this month, we had December 1975, and the Amazing Spider-Man didn't help us, we go to the second issue in the monthly Spider-Man subscription, which should be Marvel Team Up. When last we left off, Peter and the Human Torch were being surrounded by gangsters, 2 of which Spider-Man had already killed. The Crime Master, the Big Man. Who else is here? Yeah, the Crime Master and the Big Man. So let's see the new identities. And let's see if any of this can fucking help us. Spider-Man, Human Torch, the Enforcers, the malignantly murderous Big Man, the Crime Master, the Sandman, Sons of the Tiger, and in their first full-color appearance anywhere. So this is them trying to give the rub to these Sons of the fucking Tiger. You fail, Big Man. Soon there'll be none who will doubt that the Crime Master is the Lord of the Underworld. All them words ain't stopping those 2 heroes, Crime Master. Right, so Sandman's in here, and Sandman's one of our villains, so we want to pay a little attention. Let's see what we get out of this. Steal your wall crawling idiot. Kill them both. Kill them both. I care nothing for the domination of a miserable pack of mobsters. I want Spider-Man and revenge. So we got shooting, Fancy Dan shooting, Spider-Man shooting, everyone's getting shot, mobsters are fucking running everywhere. We got ourselves a crazy mobster battle royal, Buttercups, the Bopsy twins. Spider-Man punches out one mobster, he gets away, Montana's coming over here, Sandman's dropping fucking sand blasts and sand fists. Where is your luck runs out, Spider-Man, you too late torch. Spider-Man is finished. You filthy. His back was turned. Sandman! We're all in this together. Yeah, I get your drift, big man. Alright, so he's drowning the fucking Human Torch. See, what we can have is, do you remember Flash Gordon? Flash Gordon, when he was in the swamps, Remember he thought he got away, and like all of a sudden, like the swamp came alive, almost like a monster? We could do that with Sandman real quick. And then S.H.I.E.L.D. could come in. Alright, so here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm playing with in my head right now as I'm watching this, and we'll get through this a little bit further too. Get the gangsters beating living shit out of everybody. Spider-Man punching one gangster, punches another one into a wall, punches another one in the fucking ankle, throws this one into a fucking wall, throws that one over a fucking wall. But they got the torch. If you electrically shock sand, it turns to glass. Remember, they did that to Sandman. Like, Electro hit the Sandman with, like, electric shock and turned him into glass. He must be made to taste the bitter ashes of defeat. But knowing it is not enough, Crime Master. As I've had the taste of them. You know what I like is that last issue, they killed that pigeon and they never really paid that off. Spider-Man was up on the roof with the kid with the pigeons and the fucking pigeon got shot. Is he gonna fucking make it up to this kid? Whatever the big man's reaction will have to be, that little bomb shall have to wait as we cut to a rundown kung fu school in an abandoned warehouse on the Lower East Side. Alright, so what I was thinking. Spider-Man wakes up. There's some scavengers, like almost like fucking Jawas, and he fucking kicks them away, and he sees the rest of the scavengers getting away with all the Paste Pot Pete's shit. Paste Pot, of course, is like just basically dead and just a puddle of, just a gluey puddle, gluey bloody puddle mess. And he pulls off the rest of his ruined mask. He wakes up as someone's trying to take off his utility belt. They're trying to scavenge his utility belt. He fucking swats him away. He swats away the scavengers, but he watches them get away with Paste Pot Pete's shit. So we want him waking up next to one dead villain. At least one. So he's going to wake up next to the dead villain. And he's going to start making his way through the desert. Like the wastelands. And as he stops down to take a rest, the Sandman will come alive. Like the Sandman will come and try to like swallow him whole. S.H.I.E.L.D. agents will converge on him. S.H.I.E.L.D. agents will converge on him and like turn the Sandman into glass. You know, temporarily kind of like incapacitating him. But then where do we go from there? This like Spider-Man join up with S.H.I.E.L.D. and they take the Sandman away, and the Vulture's got to fucking help him escape. So the idea is, where are we taking this story? And focus figures occupying the center of practice, men facing each other in the basic defense posture of martial arts. And how do we play in with the fucking Sons of the Tiger here? We got three guys learning some kung fu. We got the chick over here, the cute little chickadee. Perhaps you should tell them more about the noises we've been hearing, Abe. Right, sounds like someone's tossing cannonballs around next door. The adjoining business supposedly deserted. The noise we've been hearing loud is too loud to be ignored. The woman he loves walks off with his best friend. If Abe Brown notices the look on his friend's face as the woman he loves walks off with his best friend, but he keeps it to himself. Oh, after all, there's sometimes between the three of them, Lotus, Lynn, and Bob, and the Sons of the Tiger are a team, aren't they? Yeah, look at this. For the answer to that ominous question, see the deadly hands of Kung Fu. So they're just trying to give these guys a rub. That's what Marvel Team Up is. We say it all the time. Marvel Team Up is a way they try to give a rub to the fucking C-listers. The fucking minor league team here. Lynn's son, what is that? Look at this. Spider-Man is tied up. I like this. Don't ever say in this. Oh, I waited too long, planned too hard for this. He's mine. And I'll kill him now before I give him up to you. Lotus, get the others. I don't know what's going on here, but they're going to need us to do some chop-socky shit here. So this guy leaps in the fucking thing. The Sons of the Tiger come in. It's a fucking brawl. It's a snooze fest. Punches are being thrown. Fucking Montana gets thrown into this fucking guy here in Spider-Man. While the others occupy your captors. You are free. The Spider-Man gets free. The Sandman's dropping fucking sand bombs on people. They pass through his sand-like form without any effect. But I can affect you once I get my hands on you. Then maybe you should try to keep your hands to yourself, Sandy. Spider-Man, I forgot about you, but this blasted weapon can't hold me for long. He's changing the sand right before our very eyes. So this is what we need. We need some Sandman shit here. Gone. There is nothing left but a pile of sand. Careful, pal, he can regroup those molecules of his at will and become hard enough to smash you off before you know what's going on. So much for the fists of fury here. And now for something I've been waiting a long time for. If you mean he chuckles. So our Sandman isn't as free. Remember, he needs a suit to keep himself together. Like, we got a lot of Mr. Freeze going with him. It's clobbering time. Holy smokes, will you look at what he did to the Sandman with one fucking punch? Crime marries us to something. He throws an acid gas grenade. He's going to kill everybody, and the Sons of Tiger in the room. They all break out, but the guy gets away. We aren't doing anything, Spidey. I'm out of it. I got a date with a really fine lady, and a fantastic car to check before that happens. So now I got to go read up to 164. Where am I at the Fantastic Four? 1 second. I'm at 154, so I'm 10 issues behind. I got to read those 10 issues today, just because we got to get up to 164. I like to be caught up to the Fantastic Four at least, because it's almost like another story we want to work on next. Fantastic Four, Lost in Space. Well, Tigers and Tiger Lady, I'm off to scan the neighborhood. Maybe those creeps have surfaced somewhere. Oh, see, all right, good. Here we go. At least we come back to this fucking kid and his pigeons. Good. Strain your ears, you might hear the sound of muffled laughter, but as our heroes leave the site of their near-deadly battle, Pepita es muerta, mi amigas. A small figure sits quietly crying on a nearby rooftop. Why would anyone want to shoot a pigeon? I don't understand it. Me neither, Mosquito. ¿Quién es? So Spider-Man's hanging out with the kid. No, Senor, Spider-Man have not forgotten. I know that man who killed Pepita was trying to shoot you, Senor, but I still don't understand why. What would make a man do such a thing? That's something I don't think I'll ever have an answer to, Mosquito. The best I can try for is hold it. Looks like we got another problem tonight. What is it, Senor? What do you see? A bunch of sewer rats, Mosquito. Climbing out of an open manhole in the alleyway below us. Come on, you clowns, get the lead out. I told you I could save us, big man. Nothing that alters. Try, master. We are still in opposition until one of us gets Spider-Man. My little ears are burning, which means they must be talking about me. Hang loose, Mosquito. I'm going to get me that pigeon killer. For some reason, this kid being in here with the pigeons, we can have Spider-Man take refuge with a kid. You know, with the fucking pigeons, like a farm in the wasteland. We don't have to immediately have him getting a hold of Nick Fury. We could have a Spider-Man Sandman fight where Spider-Man hits like almost like an electrical fucking thing on his utility belt that fucking electrocutes the Sandman. My little spiders. I like this kid. This kid comes back in with the fucking pigeons. I feel like I want to use him. Again, you're reading these stories in chronological order. It's like you're looking at things almost like fate. Like fate gives you this story at the time when you're writing a certain part of the plot. The building is one of the Tiger Sons told me is their headquarters. So Sandman's in here and he's drowning the Sons of the Tiger. Yep, Sandman, the old skunk foo. Don't have much to match when you don't get a chance to use it. Skunk foo, I like it. They're going to kill the Sons of the Tiger. Spider-Man sees. Holy shit. The only death tonight will be Spider-Man's. We'll do this my way, Crime Master. I'm tired of hearing your orders, big man. Oh, he shoots him fucking square right in the chest. Kills him. Rest of you Montana Fancy Dan any more ejections? I want to run the show the way I want. Nope. Not from Fancy Dan, boss. You're always as good as any, partner, provided we get out. Same here, Crime Master. The Sandman is with you. Oh, boy. Can the little old web slinger join too? All right, so Spider-Man comes through. He's kicking some ass. Don't just flap your jaws over it. Sandman, do some... Ugh. So he webs him in the face. Sons of the Tiger. Fighting through the sandstorm. I like the sandstorm idea. I like the fucking... Only if you hit me, Dead-Eye Dick. See, the idea is this fight with... We can have a Spider-Man Sandman fight right now in the Wastelands. Where Spider-Man could you can hit him with a fucking electrical charge. and then turns him into glass. Something cool, something very Bat utility belt, Bat gadget. But of course, the fight with Sandman fucking dehydrates him. So he's walking through the desert with like his fucking costume over his head. Like that really cool shot was a Batman White Knight where he's walking with his fucking lantern through the desert. And he can kind of pass out in front of like a really ramshackle farm. And a kid will help him. It could be a kid and the mother, a kid and the agent Clemmer. It could be them secretly setting him up. It could be a S.H.I.E.L.D. office. Something. We got to get Spider-Man with S.H.I.E.L.D. There's got to be a mission in the wasteland. Something where Spider-Man is going to be needed. And we could lead this right into the fucking Avengers if we wanted to. The story goes where it kind of drags us. So this this cute little Kung Fu Maggie Q chick, she fucking starts fucking people up. Best pitching I've ever seen. He punches the fucking crime master into the wall, or is that the big man? Sandman is still powerful. So I like that we have Sandman here, because this is what's inspiring this page. Count. I always thought the Sand was supposed to put you to sleep, not the other way around. You reminded me of which movies. You just reminded which movies I've seen you in, pal. All the bad ones. So you still live, big man? I cannot die till I've destroyed Spider-Man. Give me that gun. What's wrong with you two? Can't you behave for even a moment? Or do I have to keep you under wraps while my back is turned? Blast you, Spider-Man, bounding our hands together. Oh, just pull the fucking masks off already. Shut up, fella. You're finished. Just as I thought. I don't know you from Adam. And so I get the big man's mask up. Oh, good lord. The big man is a woman. A woman? Oh no, Janice. Looks like he has a good idea of who she is, bro. Was? You mean she's dead, Crime Master? And you killed her? She's not dead. You can all see that, can't you? Sure, that red stuff on the floor is ketchup. It's a good line. I'll talk, not that it makes any difference. My name is Nick Lewis, Jr. My father was the original Crime Master. When he was shot by the police, I swore I'd avenge him by getting back at the cause of his death. All right, well, that's stupid. But then when I was away at a private school in Europe, I met Janice. Janice Foswell. We fell for each other, and I found her father was the man, Frederick Foswell. His insurance money after his death had paid for her schooling. Oh, this is too fucking stupid. It's the daughter of Foswell and the son and fell in love and then they just killed each other. Jesus Christ. Fucking stupid. This was a fucking stupid story. Ugh. I guess we're entering a dark period of fucking Spider-Man. I love Jerry Conway. I'm not fucking happy with what I'm reading here. All right, so Scarlet Witch, Cotton Mather. What do we get? We got a good Sandman fight out of this idea, though, so let's use that. All right. We cut to a shot of what looks like the wastelands, the wastelands spread of a ruined city. Cool. Let's say it's Philadelphia. We cut to a shot of what looks like a wasteland spread of a ruined city. Where sandstorms and dirty fogs cover what looks like endless abandoned sprawl. Very similar to what Metropolis looked like when Darkseid destroyed it in Justice League. Crappy Zack Snyder movie. All right. Caption. Across the panel reads, meanwhile, along the once populous urban sprawl. Meanwhile, along the once populous urban sprawl, below Empire City. Meanwhile, along the once populous urban sprawl below Empire City. So that's a small shot. Caption. All right. Panning in, we see a small gathering of scavengers in ratty hoods and cloaks. They are gathered around an unconscious body, trying to strip it of anything valuable. SFX of the rummaging. We'll get the dialogue in. Let's get the action first, then we'll get some dialogue in there. Panning in, we see a small gathering of scavengers in ratty hoods and cloaks. They are gathered around an unconscious body, trying to strip it of anything valuable. SFX of the rummaging. Close up. Sees it is close up on one of the scavengers. Scavengers. Close up one of the scavengers' hands. Dirty hands. Dirty, ripped glove hand. As it takes a grip of what looks like Spider-Man's damaged, but still half functional, but still low functional utility belt. As they grab it, Spider-Man immediately awakens and thrusts upwards, frightening the scavengers. Discombobulated. Spider-Man immediately goes into attack mode and starts shooting webs at the scavengers, who scatter like cockroaches. All right, let's get these notes out of here. I am sitting. All right, let's see what we got. Conclusion of the Moon Gem. We got that. Jameson needs to sign himself cure his son. Making a deal with the doctor. He can let them see. Maybe Shield has the doctor. Shield traced. Shield traced. They watched once the signal was shot into the sky. Shield traced. Norman Osborn doesn't know about Shield. So Shield traced fucking Norman. They traced fucking Sandman. They traced everybody once that signal shot into the sky and that beacon shot up. So we got a plot device with that, which is good. So maybe Shield has the brain. And through that, the brain will escape. But the problem is if they go into Norman Osborn's thing, they're going to get the lizard as well. Your Uncle Ben is worried about you, Peter. How do you know about Uncle Ben? Maybe you should come with us. All right, so Shield could collect him at that farm with the kid with his fucking pigeons. I need the kid and the fucking pigeons. That fucking kid and the pigeons were in here for a reason. And does he go back to the pit? It seems like that story's over. We're so stupid. They just fucking, that's bad writing. They threw the fucking kid in with the pigeon. There was no payoff. Like the fucking, he didn't steal the crime master's money and give it to the fucking kid. Fucking broke kid Spider-Man. There's no justice for the fucking kid and his dead fucking pigeon. What a stupid fucking story that is. We're getting this fucking kid and his fucking pigeons in this fucking story. Sorry. I get very passionate. See, if they get Dr. Rock's brain, they got to get the lizard. I almost want Dr. O on his own. Yes, okay. Shield collects him, says, we can bring you back to Empire City. Unless the doctor's already there and the doctor gets loose, but they also have to get the lizard. Unless the lizard gets loose. But why would he get loose? He's trapped in a fucking tank. They're both trapped in a fucking tank. Or we could show the doctor escaping. You know, it could be something like that. It's like just octopus legs, something. The doctor could escape. We can have the doctor escape the lab, or Shield's got to get him, or Shield needs him. Something there. They would have traced where they came from. Or the fucking lab could be booby trapped. He booby trapped the lab. Now he wouldn't. Norman wants that tech. He wouldn't destroy it. He wouldn't be that forthright. He's nuts, but there's still some brilliance to him. Okay, yours. Let's get back to our story. We'll get to that. I like that we're going somewhere here. Well, that fucking kid and his pigeons in there. Could be bringing Stones back from a trip to the moon. He hosting the Venom symbiote. We went to that. Use the Doctor's Symposium. We have to get the Doc back with his minions, find a mouthpiece with a living brain to communicate. We have to get the Doctor back. He will turn all the villains against each other, slave labor to run the city. I still want to get into that. Something within the catacombs of Empire City, Mega City kind of thing is Aston Martin, Spider-Mobile. Like even Spider-Man can even say, if I work for you guys, can I get a Spider-Mobile? You know, like Batman and James Bond had. Like that. No clones. No fucking clones. All the villains have been exiled from Empire City. And it could escape his subterranean prison. So we have that already. Either use the lizard, trying to figure out if Dr. O is going to escape on his own or S.H.I.E.L.D. goes and gets him. All right, so we got the notes there. Let's keep going back over here. Discombobulated, Spider-Man immediately goes into attack mode and starts shooting webs at the scavengers who scatter like cockroaches. Spider-Man looks up. He sees the scavengers. He sees another group of scavengers stripping the body of Paste Pot Pete. One of them triggers a glue bomb that explodes overall. Let's see. As Spider-Man looks up, he sees another group of scavengers Another group of scavengers stripping the body of Paste Pot Pete. Panel 7. One of them triggers, grabbing at his gadgetry, at his utility, belts and gadgets. One of them triggers a glue bomb that explodes all over them. SFX of the glue bomb. Play. Spider-Man pulls off his mask, off his ripped mask. Ripped mask. Not his ripped mask, his mask. Pulls off his mask as he stands over the dead and glue-drowned bodies of Pete, Paste Pot Pete, and the scavengers. Nah. Explosive. SFX of the glue bomb. Okay. Okay. As the glue covered scavengers escape, they wouldn't be able to escape. They're covered in fucking glue. Yeah. Spider-Man pulls off his mask as he stands over the dead and glue-drowned bodies of Paste Pot Pete and the scavengers. Looking off into the distance beyond his landing spot, he sees the sun about to set and dark crimson clouds approaching, almost warning of oncoming doom. So we got the page laid out. Now we need some dialogue. Because what we're going to end up doing with page 12 is going to be Spider-Man and Sandman brawling. Shirtless. So no, I need him to lean down first. We see the sun has set, and the orange and the crimson haze. We see the sun is set and the crimson haze covering the sky. Provides an endless background as Peter looks like he's been walking for several hours. In the dark, the dark crimson haze covering the sky provides an endless background as Peter looks like he's been walking for several hours. He is thirsty and cold. He is thirsty, cold, and confused. collapsing down for a spell. We see Peter rest his head on a large rock as he attempts to take a nap. Just as he finally dozes off, the ground comes alive, rumbling and shaking like an elemental monster that attacked Flash Gordon in the swamp, on the swamp planet. I hate when it fucking does that. We'll have dialogue in there anyway. Immediately springing into action, Spider-Man tries to wrestle with what is apparently the Sandman, as he is without its suit and is reaming and shaking around like an uncontrollable monster blob. SFX of the ground coming to life like a monster. Like a monster. Immediately springing into action, Spider-Man tries to wrestle with what is apparently the Sandman, as he is without his suit and is reaming and shaking around like an uncontrollable monster blob. Large, sand-filled arms, sand-laced arms and fists pound and punch at Spider-Man, choking and overwhelming him. SFX of the pounding, punching, as well as Spider-Man choking. So I like where we're going here. We're writing these 2 fucking pages now. We just need some fucking dialogue. We move our notes again to page 13. SFX of the pounding and punching as well as Spider-Man choking. Close-up shot of Spider-Man frantically trying to reach a device in the center of his utility belt. Spider-Man hits the center button of his belt with the Spider-Man insignia on it. Usually, we don't have the signal. SFX of the button being hit. Does S.H.I.E.L.D. save him? No, I want him going to that farm first. Does he go to a farm first? Does he go to this farm or does S.H.I.E.L.D. save him? Remember, Jameson said I made a deal, I traded him. So obviously S.H.I.E.L.D. would have their eyes, would be searching for Spider-Man. They wouldn't find him by chance. Yeah, S.H.I.E.L.D. should save him. Can we move some of this out here? Because this is 8 panels too, with glue bomb. See, the sun is set, dark crimson haze. Crowd comes alive. All right, we could skip that right there. SFX of the ground coming to life like a monster. So this is where I'm stuck here. Is just as he finally dozes off, the ground comes alive, rumbling and shaking like an elemental monster that attacked Flash Gordon on the swamp planet. SFX of the ground coming to life like a monster. Here we go. So this is panel 5. Close-up shot of Spider-Man frantically trying to reach a device in the center of his utility belt. He hits the center button with the Spider-Man S of the button being hit, but the button is broken. And the SFX should show it fizzle instead of igniting. Should the kid hit it with water? The whole point is S.H.I.E.L.D. saving him right now, or is this fucking kid in the pigeon saving him? It doesn't work. What he tries to hit him with doesn't work. Does a kid save Spider-Man? Suddenly, the Sandman is hit with a large blast of either electricity from S.H.I.E.L.D. The kid picked up a weapon from the scavengers and shot it. I like the idea of a young scavenger. S.H.I.E.L.D. should be collecting everybody else. Do they collect? See, that's where I'm stuck right now. Is S.H.I.E.L.D. going to pick up Spider-Man and Sandman, or is some little kid going to save Spider-Man's ass? I like the kid with the pigeons. That kid with the fucking pigeons. It's this here. It's here. I want it. I want to use it. It's wholesome. It shows the wastelands. It's too easy that S.H.I.E.L.D. fucking found him 5 seconds after he hit the fucking ground. That's a big problem. It's a big fucking bridge that just plummeted onto back to the earth. So he's either getting hit with a large blast of electricity or water. But before we get here and end our lesson for the day, we got to get our dialogue out. Our pages are laid out here. We just need an end, and we need some fucking lines. So let's do some mining. So again, this month, the team up comes first. As we go into a new year, it is now 1976, January of 76. Spider-Man teams up with The Scarlet Witch, who looks very, very not sexy. Who the fuck drew this? Come ye, witch, come ye. Nobody writes to me today. Come ye, witch. Oh god, no, we gotta prevent that order. 1 second. The hour of thy soul's judgment is nigh. Scarlet Witch. The chill and dripping walls echo back down the sound of her own voice, and the Scarlet Witch knows no more now than she did before, staring at this menacing pilgrimage. Which Sal Buscema drew this heap of shit. He must have been in a rush. No, it was real. It must have all been. So Wanda's chilling. For me, it wasn't just the voice that made me leave New York and the vision to come to this unhallowed place. All right, so something went down to the Avengers, obviously. Wanda and Vision are fighting. This is them trying to give a rub to the witch, the Scarlet Witch. And we work with witches and all that crazy shit. We can have all this crazy shit going on in the wasteland. But what lies beyond this barrier? Nothing. Just another corridor. Yet there is something here. My entire being screams with the sense of it. Why doesn't it show itself? What is it waiting for? So we got a spaceship here. Another part of me, Wanda, he comes around. Wanda, what the fuck are you doing? He took off. She left New York. Something drew her. So this is just one of these two-parters. Like I said, I didn't look ahead yet. You know damn well this is just dragging this ass over to fucking Latveria. Castle Latveria. The abandoned castle of Dr. Doom. Alright, now I know what this is going. The records of Fantastic Four in the Avengers Library showed this castle to be long abandoned, and yet a light from the end of the corridor. It's shimmering. Forces me. Sucks me in. 'Twas the devil himself that brought ye to pass. A mystic bolt soars from the night-enshrouded castle. You know I love castles. Because again, remember, Spider-Man is now in the Wastelands. He is not in Empire City. We can do some crazy shit here. We can do some fun shit. We can do some bad shit. The foulest perversions, whipcraft, Fun City. And one of New York's most colorful figures swings footloose and fancy-free on a thin web, streaming through the mid-evening October sky. Remember, always 3 months ahead, so it's fall in our storyline. No more Shocker, no more Big Man, no more Crime Master or Sandman. Nothing but clear skies. You know what? We should have went back to 152. All right, moving ahead. Amazing team up. That's because this is taking place afterwards. They're talking about 152 already. We know Spider-Man beats the fucking Shocker. So should we come back to this, or should we just finish up here? Fireball. From now on, we go back and forth, back and forth. None of that 1-2-2 thing. Obviously, this comes out after Amazing. Amazing's the flagship. That always comes first. That's how we have to play it. This Mystic Bolt is following fucking Spider-Man, a UFO. He shoots at it. He grabs it. It pulsates even brighter. Disintegrates its web. So now he's like, fuck it, let me follow it. But instead, it shoots him. It sucks him into a wormhole. There he is. Now he's here with some crazy prick. Who is this Cotton Mather they said this guy is? Where the heck am I? Who dares disturb my prayers? You fool! You would make a mockery of a servant of the Lord. I'll burn you in the name of purification. Oh, so we got the fucking asshole villain of the week here with his cross, and he shoots here, and the Scarlet Witch does not look sexy. Is that the spell that she's not sexy? My hold of her is complete, but this is he who will pay for her defiance. I order you to take off your clothes and give me favors. Wanda screams. Spider-Man falls into a hole. Oh, we got all this. He falls into the wasteland. The others are waiting, speech and garb. She is brainwashed, of course. Ooh! All in readiness, which the hour of light is nigh. So they go from 1975 to 1875 to 1775. Oh, they're doing some shit in time. Back to 1692. The Salem Witch Trials. Spider-Man, of course, wakes up, thumped by a herd of elephants. A giant cross. Hypnotized. The Scarlet Witch, covered in stones. Which means I've got seconds before I become the world's first superhero sandwich. He gets out of the rock debris. We've done that before. Leaps his way out. The pile collapses on the spot he'd be occupied before. Long and hard at the tomb. The faintest idea. Something's going down. There's obviously a cult. Where the fuck am I? Is he? Oh, so he took the time machine. He goes into the time machine. The Salem Witch Trials. He leaps on through into the witch trials of madness, Salem, Massachusetts. And what do we have here? He's going to have to rescue the Scarlet Witch from being burned at the stake. The seed of witchcraft is spread, people of Salem, and Mather brings you another practitioner of the devil's art. It'll spread tonight, the colonies like plague. So they just basically set up Spider-Man. She spits in his face. They fucking throw rocks at her. They're ready to fucking take her down because she don't want to fuck nobody. But then Vision comes in and he fucks everybody up. And they fuck everybody up. And they should burn this idiot at the stake. A god, this is the devil. 'Tis our souls would be lost. This is a stupid fucking story. Spiders, ghosts, and witches in a town gone mad. Don't miss visions of hate. Oh, yay, they started a mailing section. What are they going to show you? How much people ready to go? These stories are fucking stupid as hell? Hopefully, we won't come this far for this particular class. Spider Man and the Vision. But you will be destroyed in an instant at the command of the Dark Rider, the Harbinger of Hate. Ay, ay, ay. Let's finish this up. Webhead, you've tangled with me once too often. This time you're going to be shattered by the Shaka. All right, let's get a puff here. We got nothing there we can use. Yeah, it's done. Panning and we see a small gathering of scavengers in ratty hoods and cloaks. They are gathered around an unconscious body trying to strip it of anything valuable. As effects of the rummaging. Where am I? The last thing I remember is All Hill. Where am I? They are gathered around an unconscious body trying to strip it of anything valuable. As effects of the rummaging. As effects of the. Where am I? That's where it's cliched. I hate that. Where am I? The last thing I remember is going straight to hell. The last thing I remember is going straight to hell. The last thing I remember is going straight to hell. Close up one of the scavengers' dirty, ripped glove. Takes a grip. Close up on one of the scavengers' dirty hand-ripped glove as it takes a grip of what looks like Spider-Man's damaged but still low-functional utility belt. Can't be heaven or hell. This must be limbo. This can't be heaven or hell. This can't be heaven or hell. This must be limbo. Well, this must be that healing factor. Comes with this must be that healing factor that comes with the fucking poison. Comes with the fucking poison running through my veins. Poison, which I promise. The poison, which I promise I will spoon feed. Well, this must be the healing factor that comes with the fucking. Nah, I want to save the fucking for the last part here. Well, this must be the healing factor that comes with the poison running through my veins. The poison, which I promise I will spoon feed to Mayor fucking Jameson. This can't be heaven or hell. This must be limbo. Well, this must be that healing factor that comes with the poison running through my veins. The poison, which I promise I will spoon feed to Mayor fucking Jameson. As they grab it, Spider immediately awakens and thrusts upwards, frightening the scavengers. I think we move this line over to the second part. Gather around an unconscious body, because we got to talk about the. Let's move these lines. Ugh. Copy. The last thing I remembered was going straight to hell. This can't be heaven or hell. This must be limbo. Or this must be that healing factor that comes with the poison running through my veins. The poison which I promise I will spoon feed to Mayor fucking Jameson. To Mayor fucking Jameson. Close up one of the scavengers' dirty, ripped gloves. One of the scavengers' dirty, ripped gloved hand as it takes a grip of what looks like Spider-Man's damaged but still low functional utility belt. Like Spider-Man's damaged but still low functional utility belt. Close up on one of the scavengers' dirty, ripped, gloved hand as it takes a grip of utility belt. Uncle Ben's idea. Keep hoping. I keep hoping he's tracking me. Like he always does. I keep waiting for Uncle Ben to swoop in and save my ass. Just like Alfred. That's why I didn't flinch when he recommended. So don't say utility belt. Close up one of the scavengers looks like damaged but still low function. Okay. Utility belt. Uncle Ben's idea. I just say Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben. I hope he's tracking me. Like he always does. I keep waiting for Uncle Ben to swoop in and save my ass. Just like Alfred. That's why I didn't flinch when he recommended a utility belt. As they grab it, Spider-Man immediately awakens and thrusts upwards, frightening the scavengers. SFX of the upward thrusting and shock. SFX. Scatter! Scavengers. Bloody scavengers. Discombobulated, Spider-Man immediately goes into attack mode and starts shooting webs at the scavengers, who scatter like cockroaches. As they grab it, Spider-Man immediately awakens and thrusts upwards, frightening the scavengers. Discombobulated, Spider-Man immediately goes into attack mode and starts shooting webs. Uncle Ben, I hope he's tracking me like he always does. I keep waiting for Uncle Ben to swoop in and save my ass. Just like Alfred. That's why I didn't flinch when he recommended a utility belt. See, that's scatterbrained. A utility belt. A utility belt that's only good for being tracked. Problem is a utility belt. Problem is, I don't think that's why I didn't flinch when he recommended a utility belt. As they grab it, Spider-Man immediately awakens and thrusts upwards, frightening the scavengers. Problem is, Uncle Ben can track me from any point. Uncle Ben can track me from any point in Empire City. Uncle Ben can track me from any point in Empire City. That's why I didn't flinch when he recommended a utility belt. Uncle Ben can track me from any point in Empire City. Discombobulated, Spider immediately goes into attack mode, starts shooting webs at the scavengers who scatter like cockroaches. As effects of the shooting and scattering. Uncle Ben can track me from any point in Empire City, which would be perfect if I wasn't. Discombobulated, Spider immediately goes into attack mode and starts shooting webs at the scavengers, who scatter like cockroaches. SFX of the shooting and scattering. Yeah, but I wanted his thing failing. The web shooter should be failing. He shouldn't have his web shooters. And thrust up with frightening the scavengers. Discombobulated, Spider immediately goes into attack mode and attempts to shoot webs at the scavengers who scatter like cockroaches. As effects of the web shooters fizzling out. But his web shooters are busted, are empty and broken. They spark and fizzle as he tries to shoot at them. I like that. Fizzling out and breaking and malfunctioning. So the idea would be shield. I like this. Oh, I like where we're going here. Shield makes new web shooters for Spider-Man out of adamantium or vibranium. No, adamantium or vibranium. Fucking adamantium. That's the shit we like. He doesn't need vibrating fucking web shooters. All right, where were we? Where were we? Uncle Ben could track me from any point in Empire City, which would be perfect if I wasn't green. How many miles above would we say? Which would be perfect if I wasn't currently several miles underneath it. Which would be perfect if I wasn't currently several miles underneath it. As Spider-Man looks up, he sees another group of scavengers stripping the body of Paste Pot Pete. Which would be perfect if I wasn't currently several miles underneath it. I like this line here. Spider-Man. I am alone. But at least I've got but at least I've got at least I've got my as Spider-Man looks up, he sees another group of scavengers stripping the body of Paste Pot Pete. Spider-Man sees another group of scavengers stripping the body of Paste Pot Pete. I am alone. But at least I've got my he looks over there and he sees them with Paste Pot Pete, grabbing at his utility belts and gadget belts. He's got several belts. One of them triggers a glue bomb, explodes all over them. But at least I've got my Spider-Man pulls off his mask as he stands over the dead and glue-drowned bodies of Paste Pot Pete and the scavengers. Looking off into the distance beyond his landing spot, he sees the sun about to set and the dark crimson clouds approaching, almost warning of oncoming doom. I am alone. I am alone. But at least I've got my. We don't need lines there. He'll say, at least I've got my. Boom, the thing goes off. And just have a couple of dots there. I mean, like, he pulls off his mask and stands over the dead and glue drowned bodies of Paste Pot Pete and the scavengers. I like that. Instead of saying I've got nothing, you should say nothing. The idea is that you have the dots. I love when they used to do it with Batman like that. Just let's see if we can pull that up a little. But at least I've got my. Well, remember, this will be bigger. We shrink it for the artist. One sec. Is anywhere we could get some space back? I fuck it. Again, it'll be smaller in post. I get annoyed sometimes when something drips over into another fucking page. Because he won't see that and he won't letter it. But again, it'll be smaller. So just get through it. I know we drive ourselves crazy with OCD shit. All right, page 12. Start page 12. Yeah. Because our font is very big. Our font is very big for it, so it's video friendly so you can see it. We shrink it and we go into post. Page 12. We see the sun is set and the dark crimson haze covering the sky provides an endless background as Peter looks like he's been walking for several hours. He is thirsty, cold, and confused. So Peter's going to start reflecting here. Never realized how isolated I was as a kid. You grow up, you grow up with the technological. I never realized how isolated I was as a kid. You grow up with the technological advances of an Empire City education, and you're fooled to think the rest of the world, and you're fooled to think the rest of the world has those prides and privileges. You never realized how isolated I was as a kid. You grow up with the technological advances of an Empire City education, and you're fooled to think the rest of the world has those prides and privileges, has those same prides and privileges. Collapsing down for a spell, we see Peter rest his head on a large rock as he attempts to take a nap. See, he's not really Spider-Man here. He's Peter Parker. He's thirsty, cold, and confused. His suit is damaged and torn as he walks shirtless and maskless through the desert. So he's not Spider-Man here. You know, he's Peter. He's Peter Parker. Nah, fuck it, he's still Spider-Man. Doesn't need the mask to be fucking Spider-Man. No, he should be Peter Parker because the AI has to read Peter Parker. Yes. Brought Mary Jane here. When the Second Civil War broke out. But we've said this a million times. When the Second Civil War broke out, I was a baby when the Second Civil War broke. I was a baby when the Second Civil War broke out. I remember our city pledging neutrality and then seceding from both sides, and then seceding from both sides just when things were reaching. I remember our city pledging neutrality and then seceding from both sides just as the first fires were sparked. First fire. and then seceding from both sides immediately after the first fire. I remember our city pledging neutrality, and then seceding from both sides immediately after the first fire, renaming our independent kingdom Empire City. A bold statement. But neutrality gave way to greed. And soon our ironworks, pumping out weapons instead of what? And soon our ironworks were pumping out weapons instead of welfare. We should have been helping them, but instead we were giving them. Yes. We should have been helping them. Instead we fed. We should have been helping them. Instead we fed their fires. Then acted surprised when everything burned. Right. Just as he finally dozes off, the ground comes alive, rumbling and shaking like an elemental monster that attacked Flash Gordon the Swamp Planet. I like this. He's reflecting. He's mad. Then acted surprised when everything burned. So I'm going somewhere with this. We don't need the comic book just yet. We'll close out with the comic. Carried resentment for my parents for all these years. We should have been helping them. Instead, we fed their fires, then acted surprised when everything burned. I no longer resent my parents. They were protecting me. No. I want him talking about protecting as he's about to get swallowed by a monster. All right, I like that. Norman was right. The city, Empire City, is more than a. Empire City is more than an advanced. Empire City is more than an advanced infrastructure. Empire City is more than an advanced infrastructure. It's alive. And it's pure evil. I no longer resent my parents. They were protecting me. Boom! I no longer resent my parents. They were protecting me. Boom! Immediately springing into action. He's saying they were protecting me just as the fucking Sandman comes alive and is about to swallow him whole. You want the line to have some fun little irony with the art. He's talking about my parents weren't assholes. They were protecting me. They were keeping me in the city because this wasteland sucks. And he's saying it as he's saying, my parents protect me, I don't resent them anymore. Norman was right, Empire City's fucking evil. The fucking ground is coming alive to kill him, to swallow him whole. Immediately springing into action, Spider-Man tries to wrestle with it as apparently the Sandman. As he's without his suit and is reaming and shaking around like an uncontrollable monster blob. Large Sand Lake's arms and fists pound and punch at Spider-Man, choking and overwhelming him. SFX of the pounding and punching, as well as Spider-Man choking. What does Spider-Man say? We need a little bit more dialogue. And I gotta figure out if this kid's gonna hit him. Remember, he's not Spider-Man right now. He's Peter Parker. They were protecting me. I am a hypocrite as well. What have I done? What have I done? The extraordinary powers gifted to me by fate and science. What have I done with the extraordinary powers gifted to me by fate and science? What have I done for the people of the wastelands? I brought Mary Jane down here. I am a hypocrite as well. What have I done with the extraordinary powers gifted to me by fate and science? What have I done for the people of the wastelands? The survivors? Close-up shot of this man frantically trying to reach a device in the center of his utility belt. What have I done? What have I done with these extraordinary powers gifted to me by fate and science? What have I done for the people of the wastelands, the survivors? I brought Mary Jane down here on a date. Figuring the best way to impress, figuring the best way to impress an international supermodel was to take her to somewhere dangerous. I brought Mary Jane down here on a date, figuring the best way to impress an international supermodel was to take her to somewhere dangerous. Spider-Man hits the center button of his belt with the Spider-Man insignia on it. SFX of the button being hit, but the button is broken. Like everything's broken. His web shooters are broken. His utility belt's broken. Everything sucks. Okay? Spider-Man hits the center button of his belt with the Spider-Man insignia on it. SFX of the button being hit, but the button is broken, and the SFX should show it fizzle instead of igniting. Just like his web shooters. All broken. Peter Parker. Jameson was right about me. I deserve this. This is how it should end. Spider-Man hits the center of his belt with the Spider-Man insignia on it, figuring the best way was to impress an international supermodel was to take her to somewhere dangerous. Jameson was right about me. I deserve this. This is how it should end. He's pissed. He's broken. He's beaten. Suddenly, the Sandman is hit with a large blast of what? We have one fucking panel to go here and we are done. Panel 8. A blast of water in the desert. This kid wasted water to save Spider-Man. Let's see what we got. We got one issue to go through. We need one fucking line of dialogue. We got to figure out what this kid's going to hit the Sandman with, and then this class is over. Oh, Spider-Man was still in the fucking sewer here. Shattered by the shocker. All right, do some heavy digging. The rats are all over him. We should show some rats. Rats. Ooh, we get some rats in here. Rats. Let's get some rats. We'll use something from this issue. There are rats everywhere. Dirty, grip-gloved hands, frightening the scavengers. The cockroaches who scatter like cockroaches, as well as the rats who scatter along with them. There we go. Yay! Can't have that. Oh, it's so annoying. It just always does that. It's like an OCD thing where it has to fucking do that. It's really fucking annoying. Apparently the Sandman, he's wrestling with the Sandman. Okay, so what do we got? SFX of the pounding and choking. The survivors. We brought Mary Jane down here on a date, figuring the best way to impress an international supermodel was to take her to somewhere dangerous. Jameson was right about me. I deserve this. This is how it should end. Suddenly, the Sandman is hit with a large blast of. I'm thinking it's got to be water. No, because I mean that's what it's it. That's it. Water. He's going fucking crazy and a little. I mean, it is a wasteland. There's no moisture. There's very little moisture. If I don't reach the high ground before the liquid crud reaches the ceiling. All right, so he's trying to get out of the sewer. The shocker fucking left him down there to fucking drown and die in the sewer. He washes out. Mary Jane Watson. He rides out on the fucking sewage clothes. He probably smells like fucking shit. Trying to get pictures of the black. I don't like a good little photographer. Lady still around. She's pissed that he vanished. The vase breaks anyway into the Bowery where we got, I think that's Dr. Octopus, right? It's not telling you who it is, but I got a feeling that's Dr. Octopus. Yes. He thinks that the Hammerhead's chasing him, the ghost of Hammerhead. It's all coming back to me. Vegetables. Mary Jane's pissed at him. She's ignoring him because he left the party. She's going to start dating somebody else. Not a solitary word, Peter Parker. Just tell your fucking Spider-Man. You know what? I wanted to tell you. It's been kind of lonely since you moved out of my place, Hotshot. So I asked Harry to be my new roommate. All right, it's kind of cool. Gives Peter the rest of his food. You know my name. It was written across Manhattan last night. Great. I extinguish those selected streets to prove I have the power. Unless the city pays me $1 million by midnight tonight, I will black out the entire metropolitan area. I will expect an answer on this evening's 6 o'clock news. Agree and further instructions will follow. Fews in New York will suffer the wrath of the shocker. All right, so he's blackmailing the city. All right, good old fashioned stuff. I kind of dig that. Knight errant. We go to the power station. Now, in terms of blacking out the city, that'll be fucking Electro's plot. But we always got to do some monstrous, like, track to it. You got to have rules to your bad guys. You can't always make the rules convenient. Shang-Chi. Pinned to the wall without invitation. With an Erectus set, he's coming around. He sneaks into the power plant. He knows the Shocker is going to attack the power plant. But the Shocker's already there. Hits him. All right, so we want to do the Shocker thing? That's what I like most about you, Shock. You have a way with words. Ever think of writing the great American novel? Vibroblast. Everyone's favorite Samaritan about town lends a hand. Throw out your guns. Does the kid? I'm trying to think if he hits him with an electric blast from a weapon he scavenged, or is it shield? Water doesn't work because that's just too easy. I mean, that's what the video game was when he hits him with the fire hydrant. But they're in the wastelands. This kid wouldn't have that much water to fucking make it significant. You know what? I kind of like doing like a T1000 moment. Let's do a T1000 moment here. Son of the Salmon is hit with a large blast of electricity. SFX of the blast. See, the idea is we come into page 13. Here's what's going to happen. Here's what I just got inspired to do here. Let's finish this issue. I swear I'll get you. Loaded guns. Stop complaining. Just be thankful that Crash Helmet is as thick as your head. He beats up these guys. The Shocker comes in. I think I know what I want to do. Hand to hand, he fights him in the fucking thing. He tries to throw him into the fucking incinerator. He webs himself out. Electrics. Well, using the Shocker, let's go with the Shock. Some kid, or its shield. What I want to do is he's going to get hit with this electric fucking weapon, right? It's going to turn him into glass. And what I was going to have is Spider-Man like just fucking jump kick him and smash him. Or just leave him there in the desert as glass. SFX at the blast. We see the blast continue and envelope his body as the electricity yeah, you know what? They'll take him back in glass. Shield will collect him, and we'll do like a T-1000 thing where almost like he melts. We don't do it right there. Spider-Man shouldn't kick him. He wants to keep him as glass. We see the blast continue to envelope his body as the electricity coursing through the Sandman is slowly begins transforming him. Fucking cunt. See the blast continue and envelope his body as the electricity coursing through the Sandman begins transforming. It's an OCD thing. Oh, we're gonna have a line there, so don't worry. Into glass. The electricity is transforming the sand is sandblasting the Sandman into a glass sculpture. A la the frozen T-1000 in Terminator 2. See? Page is done. We use the shocker electric blast. Suddenly the Sandman is hit with a large blast of electricity. SFX of the blast. Hitting the blast. He's getting blasted. Do we need a line there? This is how it should end. I don't think you need a line there. You could have a line right here. We see the blast continue. Okay, I like this. But we gotta move this fucking thing here now. Motherfucker. There's 3 fucking lines you leave in there. Ugh! Ugh! This whole fucking thing annoys me sometimes, but it just has to fucking perfectly space at the bottom of the fucking page. Writers were crazy, okay? Fuck you. We're crazy. It's raining outside, so I'm stuck inside anyway. We see the blast continue and envelope his body. That was some lightning right there. As the electricity coursing through the Sandman begins transforming him into glass. Into glass. The electricity is sandblasting the Sandman into a glass sculpture a la the frozen T-1000 in Terminator 2. I may be a high school dropout. I may be a high school dropout. But I made my bones on Craven the Hunter. I may be a high school dropout, but I made my bones on Craven the Hunter. It even got as far as Atlantis. I may be a high school dropout, but I made my bones on Craven the Hunter, and even got as far as Atlantis. And I know and almost played a tune on the Horn of Atlantis. I just like to throw that in there now. I may be a high school dropout, but I made my bones on Craven the Hunter and almost played a tune on the Horn of Atlantis. I may be a high school dropout, but I made my bones on Craven the Hunter and almost played a tune on the Horn of Atlantis. I don't think I need that line. Nah, it doesn't work there. I may be a high school dropout, but I know what happens when you blast sand with a high concentration of electricity. I may be a high school dropout, but I know what happens when you blast sand with a high concentration of electricity. I may be a high school dropout, and I'm severely dehydrated. I may be a high school dropout, and I'm severely dehydrated, but I know what happens when you blast sand. But I know what happens when you blast sand with a with a. You need that iambic pentameter. I may be a high school dropout, but I'm se- and I may be a high school dropout, and I'm severely dehydrated. And I'm severely dehydrated. But I know what happens when you blast sand with a high concentration of electricity. I like to write like poetry. I may be a high school dropout, and I'm severely dehydrated. But I know what happens when you blast sand with a high concentration of electricity. Put that on a separate page. And ladies and gentlemen, this fucking assignment is done. Let's finish the comic book because we got our electric charges from the Shocker. Let's see Spider-Man beat the Shocker, leave him for the cops. The cops get the Shocker. Next issue, the most offbeat story of the year, which means filler because they probably were fucking behind on their deadlines. The longest. This is just Spider-Man basically helping a football player before they kill him and take his kid away. This story sucks. This is the dead zone right now. But hey, we got 2 pages out of it. We got our comic book finished. Always remember, let fate and fates decide your fortune. Come back later as we're going to put the video of this 2 pages into the Revit machine and make some Ghibli studio animations as we prepare to finish this novel. We are at the halfway point where Spider-Man has been rescued once again from the clutches of death. But who is it, a little kid with his pigeons? Or is it S.H.I.E.L.D.? Find out. And we write the next 2 pages. Peace, love, war, all that shit in between.